Hi there, my name's Catherine. I hope you're doing well. This year, Alex and I have endeavoured to watch a film every day of December leading up to Christmas. A Christmas film advent calendar, if you will. And I thought it would be fun to share which films made the cut with you in this video. We've picked out some classics, some newer films, some films we haven't seen before, all varying in degrees of Christmassy vibes. I've tried to put them in an order so that at the beginning of the month, the less Christmassy films kind of evolve into the more hard-hitting ones. I'm gonna get into it straight away and keep the descriptions quick and snappy because there's 24 to get through and most of them you will know about anyway.
'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a place that perhaps you've seen in your dreams.
To kick the month off, we're going to watch A Nightmare Before Christmas. It is technically both a Halloween and a Christmas film, so I thought it would be a good transitional one to take us into December. This film follows Jack Skellington, who's from Halloween Town, and one day he stumbles upon Christmas Town, which couldn't be more different from where he comes from, and he becomes obsessed with bringing Christmas back to his home. This has amazing music, it's a musical as well, gorgeous animation, and it's cozy and spooky and a good one to start off the month with.
First you delay me, then you bump me. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Is this a coincidence or what? Have a seat.
December 2nd, another transitional film. This is Planes, Trains and Automobiles, which follows Neil, who is trying desperately to get home to his family for Thanksgiving, but a snowstorm has prevented him from getting on the plane. He teams up with a cheery and annoying salesman called Dell, who joins him on his journey to get home. This film is so funny and emotional at the same time. I literally always cry at the end of this film. It's heartwarming and there's snow in it, so it passes the Christmas vibe check.
What is that? What are you doing? What is that? What are you doing? You're taking all the caviar? That caviar is a garnish.
December 3rd, we're going to watch You've Got Mail. I absolutely adore this film. It's one of my favourites. This film follows Kathleen Kelly, who is the owner of a small independent bookstore in New York, whose business is threatened with the arrival of a superstore bookstore, part of a big chain that arrives just down the street from her. Meanwhile, she's been developing an online relationship with a man she's never met, who just so happens to be her new business rival. This film isn't technically a Christmas film, but when I think of it, I think of all the scenes that take place during kind of autumny, wintry times rather than the scenes that take place in spring, summer. It just captures that New York at Christmas time atmosphere really well, of dark and cold nights with the city lit up in all these bright, gorgeous, twinkling lights and everything. So that's why it's on the list. It also has a really great soundtrack.
Now, I can help with the scars. But I just want to consult the big Avon handbook before doing anything.
December 4th, we're going to watch Edward Scissorhands. This is another Tim Burton film on the list. This film follows Edward, who has scissors for hands, surprisingly enough, who is taken in by an American suburban family after his creator passes away. Again, not technically a Christmas film, but there is snow in it, so I think it counts. And I also think the score of this film is very Christmassy. There's something about it that just feels like it should be watched maybe towards the end of November, more so than the beginning of December, but we're allowing it.
Maybe this was the mysterious Mr. Right I've been waiting my whole life to meet.
You remember Bridget?
Maybe not.
She used to run around your lawn with no clothes on, remember?
December 5th, we're going to watch Bridget Jones's Diary. This film follows Bridget, who is in a bit of a slump in both her work and love life and decides to turn it around, and she ends up getting in a love triangle between Hugh Grant and Colin Firth along the way. This is another iconic Christmas film and an iconic rom-com in general. It's really, really funny. The performances are great. The only thing I don't really like about the film is Hugh Grant, because I think Hugh Grant is quite creepy. Although I have recently liked him in Paddington 2. I thought he was really good in that, but he does play a villain in that and he is meant to be creepy, so I guess he was born to play that role.
You don't even know we're not here on the job. What? On a job? Yeah. Here in Bruges? Yeah. Here in Bruges? On a job?
December 6th, we're going to watch In Bruges. This is the first film on the list that I've never seen before. And I didn't know that it was technically a Christmas film because it is set during the holiday season in Bruges, Belgium. This film follows two hitmen, Ray and Ken, who are stuck in Bruges, Belgium over the holidays after they failed to complete a mission. But conflict arises when their boss asks Ken to kill Ray. I really want to watch this film because I loved Banshees of Inisherin, which was directed by Martin McDonagh, starring Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, just like this film. And Alex has already seen it and he likes it, so it didn't take much convincing for it to go on our list. December 7th, we're going to watch Gremlins, another one I haven't seen but Alex has. This one's probably a bit more surprising that I haven't seen it because I think most people have seen this film. This film is a horror comedy that follows a young man who is gifted a strange small pet one day, which begins spawning other creatures, which in turn begin wreaking havoc on his town one Christmas Eve. I'm excited to finally see this film and be able to partake in conversations about it. I like a horror comedy, so I'm sure it will be right up my street.
Hello? Can you hear me? I'm a first aider. I'm just going to turn you over.
December 8th, we're going to watch Anne and the Apocalypse. This has become a tradition in our house. Me and Alex love this film. We watch it every Christmas. It's a zombie horror comedy musical set at Christmas time, and if that doesn't sell it to you, I don't know what will. And it follows a group of teenagers at high school who are trying to survive the zombie apocalypse through violence and song. The music is genuinely so good. Me and Alex pretty much listen to it all year round. It's always rotated on our little playlist. The plot is great and it's a Scottish film as well, which we love to see.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
December 9th, we're going to watch Die Hard. The age-old question, is Die Hard a Christmas film? Clearly I think so. I honestly think actually it's more of a Christmas film than some of the other films I've put on this list. Die Hard is an action film following John McClane, who's trying to save his wife during an office Christmas party turned hostage situation. This is an amazing action film, great one-liners, really quotable, and it's quite a good palate cleanser before we get into some of the Christmas hard hitters that are coming up.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
December 10th, we're going to watch Carol. I am so excited for this one because neither me or Alex have seen it, and I already know that I am going to love it. I don't know why I've never watched it. It's not like it wasn't on my radar ever. I just never saw it. And I've always wanted to. I don't know why I've never put it on. Carol is a romance between two women from very different walks of life. It looks like it's set in the 50s, I think. I want to say. And it looks like it's just going to be really emotional and beautiful. The cinematography of it just looks so stunning and looks so Christmassy. I think it's set in New York again. I could be wrong about all these facts, but from what I've seen of it, clips and everything, that's what it looks like. I just have such high hopes that this is going to be a new favourite Christmas film for me.
Well, it was a fine meal. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yes, where shall we do now? Let's have a lunch. Oh, good idea.
December 11th, we're going to watch The Muppets: A Christmas Carol. This is one of Alex's favourite Christmas films and it is quite a classic now, I think. It's obviously based off of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which follows Scrooge, who is a bit of a Grinch, and one night he is visited by various ghosts who are trying to show him the error of his ways and change his bad attitude towards life. This is a really good film. Who doesn't love a Muppet? December 12th, we're going to watch The Santa Claus, which I watched for the first time only last year, and I was shocked and appalled at how dark the concept of this film was. This film follows Scott, who ends up having to take on the role of Santa Claus because he accidentally kills the previous one. That is grim. Dark, but I did enjoy it. I think I even liked the second one more. I think we watched them back to back last year, but I might like the second one more because Elizabeth Mitchell's in it and Juliet's my favourite character in Lost, so I adore her. I also like the name of this film. I really appreciate the punnery involved in it.
With tears and with sadness, they started to mend. Then they said,
No more crying, this sad shit must end.
Christmas was about family, but now it's about friends.
December 13th, we're going to watch The Night Before, another one I haven't seen, but Alex has, and I'm starting to realise the pattern that is forming here. I think there's only been one film so far that Alex hasn't seen, and I also hadn't seen that one, so clearly he had a lot more sway in this list. I actually don't think that's true. I just think he's watched a lot more films than I have. The Night Before follows three friends who have been friends since childhood and who have a Christmas Eve tradition of meeting up and going in search in New York City for the best Christmas Eve party. This sounds fun. From what I've seen of the trailer, it looks very much classic American comedy film. Like, it's got Seth Rogen in it. I think it'll be like that type of film, and I don't hate that, but it's also not the type of film I would generally go towards. I like the other two actors who are in it as well.
January. How much emotional eating have I been doing?
December 14th, we're going to watch The Grinch. The Grinch is about the Grinch, who hates Christmas and all the festive cheer that it brings to Whoville, so he sets out to destroy the fun for everyone. It's still up in the air which Grinch we're going to watch, if we're going to watch the original Grinch or the animated one that came out more recently, because I don't know if this is a very controversial statement, but I prefer the animated film. I don't think I would ever choose to watch the Jim Carrey Grinch. I think that is quite controversial to say. So I can only apologise if you're watching this and I have offended you. Alex did say we should watch the original, but I don't know if he'll get a say.
For Christmas, I would love a pink twinkle bike with stabilizers. But please don't bring it if it makes you and the reindeer burn. Love, Gwen.
December 15th, we're going to watch Arthur Christmas. This is another one that is kind of like crept up on us as a yearly film we watch. It just kind of started unknowingly happened that every year we would get this urge to watch Arthur Christmas. It is a really fun film. Arthur Christmas is about Santa's son Arthur, who when he realises that a little girl isn't going to get her present on Christmas Day, makes it his mission to get the present to her before time runs out. I really love the concept of the film, and especially the way technology is used in this film. I think they put a really good twist on kind of what our concept of the North Pole and Santa's grotto is. I like that the elves and Santa and reindeer have all adapted with the times and the evolution of technology and such. It's really fun.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
I made my family disappear.
Hello? Hey, quiet! It's him again! The Mona!
December 16th, there's two films, and I'll explain why. I've also just realised that because I'm putting clips before each of these things, it's probably a bit jarring that you saw a clip of Black Christmas right next to a clip of Home Alone. They're not the same film at all. Although I guess they're both like home invasion films. Anyway, so there's two films here because I love Black Christmas. Me and my sister love watching this at Christmas time, but Alex is not a horror guy. He can deal with like light horror, like Gremlins is on the list and that's a horror comedy. Whenever it starts to get into the realm of actually wanting to scare you, he's out. So I don't want to go a year not watching Black Christmas, but he won't watch it and I don't want him to miss out on a night. So I'll watch Black Christmas on my own and we'll watch Home Alone together. Make sense? I think so. So we'll probably watch Home Alone first, which follows Kevin, an 8-year-old boy who wakes up one morning, is meant to be going on holiday to France with his family, but realises he's been left behind by them by mistake. And he is left home alone when their house starts getting targeted by a couple of thieves. This is another classic film. Everyone loves this film. I don't love it as much as everyone else, and I think it's because in primary school, Home Alone was always the film that everyone wanted to put on like the last day of school before Christmas, and it just got so repetitive every year. And we never watched the whole film, so I realised a few years ago I'd never seen the whole of Home Alone all the way through because we never really watched it at home. So yeah, not my favourite film, but I can still appreciate it. Once we've watched Home Alone, Alex can scutter away to bed and I'll stay up on my own and watch Black Christmas like a creep. I'll be watching the 1974 original version. I've not seen the latest remake that's come out. I really like the original. Black Christmas is set in a sorority house over Christmas when the girls who live there start getting really threatening, disturbing phone calls from an anonymous caller. This is my favourite horror film to watch at Christmas. It's really, really scary, but it's got some funny moments as well, so I highly recommend it if that's what you like. It's just a really top tier horror film. December 17th, we're going to watch Klaus, which is another recent film that has become such a firm favourite of ours. We love this film. This film follows Jesper, who's a spoiled, lazy man whose father sends him to the remotest place imaginable to be a policeman. A policeman? Not a policeman, a postman for a period of time in order to teach him some responsibility. While he's there, he ends up becoming friends with this reclusive toy maker called Klaus. This film is so heartwarming and sad and happy and lovely. It's got such a gorgeous animation style. I love it so much. I think it's a really original story and it's got some great voice actors in it as well.
And then Jack chopped down what was the world's last beanstalk, adding murder and ecological terrorism to the theft, enticement and trespass charges already mentioned. And all the giant's children didn't have a dad.
December 18th is another Alex pick. This isn't a film, it's technically a mini-series. So we're actually doing this for the 18th and 19th. We're going to watch it over 2 nights. This is based on the book The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. Alex loves Terry Pratchett. He co-wrote Good Omens with Neil Gaiman, so if you like that and if you like that whole kind of whimsical vibes, then you'll definitely really like this. This film follows Death, who has to take on the role of the Hogfather, who is this world's Santa Claus, after he goes missing. I think I've seen the first episode of this, but not the second. I think there's only 2 episodes, but what I've liked of it, I have really enjoyed. It's really whimsical, fantastical. It's got that kind of Neil Gaiman-y, Good Omens-y humour all the way through it. So if you like that, then I think you'll definitely like this. It feels really Christmassy to watch, even though it's not in our world. It feels kind of like it's set during like Christmas in like Victorian England, but with all these fantasy elements through it as well.
Burnt feathers. Now, I'll take this off and you'll see a perfect ringlet.
I'm so sorry.
What have you done?
December 20th, we're going to watch Little Women, Greta Gerwig's Little Women, the most recent one that's came out, because me and Alex love this film. I know it's not technically a Christmas film, but Christmas features quite heavily in it. It's very cozy and warming and the kind of film you want to put on a dark night. It follows 4 sisters and the adventures that they have both together and apart, from children up until young adulthood. I love Greta Gerwig so much. I think she's an amazing filmmaker. I am very much in the majority of people who think that. She's obviously had a lot of attention this year from Barbie, and I'm so here for it, and I'm so here for her adapting Narnia. I think that'll be so incredible. But anyway, I love how she adapted Little Women, specifically the way she used editing and lighting to highlight the different timelines and storylines going on involving the sisters simultaneously. And like I said, the Christmas scenes in it are just so precious.
Hollywood are coming to St. Bernadette's.
Yes.
To see your show.
Yes.
To film your show.
Yeah.
Make a film out of it.
Yeah. And a book.
December 21st, we're going to watch Nativity, which I would argue is probably the cutest film on the list. Nativity is about an uptight and heartbroken teacher whose little white lie regarding the nativity play he's putting on with his primary school class snowballs into Hollywood coming to visit to make their play into a film. The children in this film are so funny and cute. Martin Freeman as a grumpy teacher is perfect, I think, because he is just a grumpy man in real life. I think this film captures the very like British primary school experience of putting on a nativity play or just a Christmas play in your school, so it's quite nostalgic to watch. I wanted to put this closer to actual Christmas because I think it's a really good film to like get you properly in that festive mood.
I'm very normal. Neat freak, healthy, non-smoker. Single. Hate my horrible life.
December 22nd, we're going to watch The Holiday. This is my favourite Christmas rom-com. This is my Love Actually. I'm not going to get into it, but I hate Love Actually with a burning passion. The Holiday is a much better rom-com to me. This film follows two women, one from California and the other from England, who decide to do a house swap over Christmas and end up developing romantic relationships with the men they meet there. This film is just, there's something in it. It is so fun and silly and addictive. The performances in it are truly wild, like particularly from Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. I don't know what they were doing, and I think they're good actresses. But the way they say some of the lines in this film are just such choices. And they're not choices that I fully understand, but I fully support. They just say some of the lines really weird. Really weird. I think it's hilarious, I think it's wacky, and I fancy both Jack Black and Jude Law.
What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
December 23rd, we're going to watch It's a Wonderful Life, which follows George Bailey, who is a businessman who's going through a really difficult time, until one night an angel shows up to him and shows him what life in his time would be like if he didn't exist. We love this film. We watched it together with our friend who loves this film. A few years ago, she put it on and we had never really watched it. So the three of us sat down, started watching it, and literally like barely talked to each other through the film, but we're crying for basically the whole of it. It was a real bonding moment, I think. It's just such a beautiful film. And me and Alex had a serious discussion after of being like, if we ever decide to have a child, would we name it George? So it would be called George Bailey, because that man has our hearts forever.
This is the North Pole.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Finally, Christmas Eve is the holy grail of all Christmas films, in my humble opinion. It is Elf. Elf is my favourite Christmas film of all time. I don't think that'll ever change. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's sweet. Oh, hello. Where are you going? Where are you going? Sienna's joined us for the Christmas Eve film. She also loves Elf. Elf follows a human played by Will Ferrell who grew up with the elves in the North Pole, and one day he realizes that he is not an elf. He decides to go off to New York City to try and find his real father. We all know Elf. It's hilarious, it's cute, it's entertaining. Zooey Deschanel sings in it. It's directed by Jon Favreau. It's perfect. There'll be no further questions, Your Honour. That's that. That is our Christmas film advent calendar. I am so excited to get our tree up, to watch all these films, get Sienna in her reindeer costume. It's gonna be so good. I hope you have an amazing upcoming week, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!